What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching today, baby. All right, guys. Today I want to talk about caffeine. So this is the issue here. The suspicion issue right here. So I know plenty of you guys have probably seen me talk about caffeine before, and my addiction to it. It's been honestly a a love-hate relationship with caffeine for sure. I just kind of wanted to make a little bit of a different video because mostly we're always talking about opiates or Suboxone or Sublocade now, kratom, blah 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 blah. But I feel like kratom is, or sorry, it's late, guys. Caffeine is a much more widely used by a lot of people. So I figured this might be a cool little video to make. So I have tons of experience with caffeine addiction. Since I can even remember, I used to take a lot of pre-workout for the gym, and then that stopped working, and then I would switch to energy drinks, and then I would switch to caffeine pills, because they were so much cheaper. You could buy an entire bottle of caffeine pills for as much as this one drink, right? So, and even get more caffeine and not have all the fillers and sugars and stuff that a lot of these drinks have in them. So this particular red line drink is my favorite, cotton candy. This one has, I believe it's 320. Let me just make sure, guys. Let's see. Where is it? Son bitch. I can't find it. It doesn't say on this one. Anyways, I'm like 100% sure it's 320 milligrams per bottle. This is actually 2 servings, it says on the bottle. So, but I've always just drank the whole damn thing because my caffeine tolerance is so high. All right, so for the last probably month or two, I just wake up. It's part of my morning routine, right? I wake up every morning, go to the gas station, spend $3 on one of these things. And I like to cruise my car around town just kind of my little morning routine, right? So about a week or two ago, I tried to cold turkey this, and it was honestly one of the harder times I've had from caffeine, like a caffeine withdrawal. Usually it's just like a decent headache for the day and low energy for the day. Second day is not as bad. By the third day, I'm totally normal. Like if that's if I usually just do a cold turkey. But this last time I was wiped out. Like I had a horrible migraine. I just felt really sick. And when I say really sick, I don't want to like overblow it. Like if I had to rate caffeine withdrawal cold turkey versus like a Suboxone or opiate painkiller withdrawal, like it's not even close, guys. Like Suboxone, opiates is up here like 9 or a 10. 1 out of 10, and I'd say caffeine is like a 2, maybe a 2 to a 3 max. So it's really easy to compare. If you're used to tapering or coming off cold turkey from opiates, like this, caffeine will be a breeze for you, right, guys? So pretty damn easy, even if you're gonna cold turkey it. Now, some people have a lot higher tolerance than I do. I've seen some people that take 2 or 3 of these a day. And probably if you guys are like me, you don't even feel them. So like really, what's the point of even taking them? I know for me personally, if I was to take a week off altogether and then I would take one, then I would feel it again, right? But the problem is that you're taking the same dose every day, so your body builds a tolerance to the caffeine, and before you know it, you're taking it, you're paying for it, but you're not getting the benefit, right, that you hope for, and the feeling that you hope for, that little rush of energy that you like to feel, right? So at this point, it's just pretty much useless for me to keep drinking it every day. So I guess the topic of this video is to taper or to cold turkey. Honestly, I think depending on how you drink your caffeine, because a lot of people, they don't do it like I do. Like I do it all in one shot, first thing in the morning, and then I'm done for the day. But a lot of people will take like a cup of coffee every few hours, or something like that, spread out through the day. So it's going to kind of depend on what you're drinking, how many milligrams of caffeine you're having per day. You can find a million studies that say caffeine is healthy for you. You can find a million studies that say caffeine, in too much caffeine is unhealthy for you. So my personal belief is if you're taking a stimulant every day and when you took it at first, it gave you a good rush of energy, if you're no longer getting that, then to me, that's just a total waste. My cardiologist once said, and I told him when I was at my worst, I was taking 3 caffeine pills first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee. That totals to about 800 milligrams of caffeine first thing in the morning. And then that's when I started having heart problems. That's also when I was kind of tinkering with steroids still. So steroids and caffeine, that's like a deadly mixture, guys. If you're doing any sort of stimulant, like the OCD, or not OCD, what's it called? The medication that's like a stimulant medication, Vyvanse, I think they call it. And there's other medications like that that are pretty hardcore stimulants to help you focus. If you're taking that kind of stuff or hardcore like caffeine drinks and messing around with steroids, that's really a recipe for disaster, guys. You can easily have a heart attack. So just be really careful and mindful. Try not to mix the two if you're going to mess with either one of those. So where was I going with this? So yeah, I started having heart problems, pretty much just about died. My heart was kicking into what's called AFib, atrial fibrillation, or basically my heart is skipping beats or it's beating out of order. I almost passed out behind the wheel of my car, so I went to the ER, and they were like, yeah, they took a ECG or whatever it is, and it was just not looking good. I could tell they were really worried about me. So after talking to the cardiologist, getting a heart scan, he was like, are you like taking kind of meth or something like this? I was like, no, caffeine. And he's like, oh, that's it then. So as soon as I cut the caffeine pills out, I never had that heart issue again. And I mistaked that issue for, it can feel like anxiety when your heart is beating out of rhythm. So if you don't know exactly what to feel for, or if you guys are ever feeling anxiety, you think it's anxiety after you have a high dose of caffeine, just find your vein, count your blood, count your beats per minute, right? Count about a minute's worth. You should hear your heart beating normal beats in rhythm, right? If you feel it skip or like boom, 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 like something like that, anything out of the ordinary, guys, chances are your heart is out of rhythm and you're probably in AFib or another type of out of rhythm heart. I don't remember what all the other ones are called. VFib, I think, if I remember right. And that can easily be triggered even by I've seen my ex-girlfriend, she would have like a low dose of caffeine and it would trigger that. It would trigger that in her. And it's very easy to think that that's just anxiety when it's actually your heart beating out of rhythm. So something to keep in mind, guys, if you're addicted to caffeine or struggling with caffeine, even in lower doses, that can happen. So if you have anxiety while taking caffeine, check your heartbeat, count it for a minute, make sure your heart is beating as it should. It's very noticeable when it's out of rhythm. And it might freak you out a little bit. But usually after the caffeine wears off, your heart will go back to normal beats. But you could be at a much greater risk of stroke or heart attack if your heart is beating out of rhythm like that. So also caffeine can mess with your blood pressure, contributing to other health factors, guys. So honestly, like just overall, I feel cleaner, I feel better, I feel like my skin looks better when I'm not on higher doses of caffeine like this, right? If you're taking like a green tea or something with like 40 milligrams and 40 milligrams of caffeine and it has all the other good stuff in it, like I don't see any problems with stuff like that. But if you're banging out 320 milligrams right at once, like I usually always do, you could also look at, I think it's called adrenal fatigue. I really believe that I get that. So it's basically like, other than like the hour or so after you had the drink, you just feel worn out. You're so tired, like you just can't function without caffeine at all. It's just, to me, I believe that that's what's called adrenal fatigue. And if you're constantly putting stimulants in your body is so like reliant on those that as soon as you don't have them, you're just you're just out of it, right? If you're taking 320 milligrams and you're not feeling the boost of energy that you should, to me, your body is exhausted, right? If you can't feel it, the cardiologist told me just because you can't feel it doesn't mean your body can't feel it, right, guys? If that makes any sense. Like, your body is suffering the consequences of what you're putting into it just because your brain isn't getting that little tingly high feeling. Sorry, I'm kind of going off on that whole rant. Anyways, how am I tapering off this time? So to do a quick, simple taper, I would say take about a week. If you want to do it, if you want to spread it out over 2 weeks, it will be 100% painless, guys. So for me, this is how I've gone. This is how I did it. So the first 2 days, I drink 3/4 of this drink, right? That's just the first 2 days. I had no problems at all. Okay, then the next 2 days after that, I drank half of the drink. No problems at all, guys. No headache, no migraine, nothing. The next 2 days, this is gonna be my last dose. So I got half a bottle left. I'm gonna take half tomorrow and then half the next day, and then I'm done. So I'm not saying that I'm gonna quit caffeine forever, but as you guys know, I'm preparing to transition onto Sublocade. And I just know that when messing around with new medications, I want to be as level and as even as possible. So ideally, I can be fully off of caffeine before I get my Sublocade shot. That's just one less thing to have to worry about. You know, you guys know as much as I do that caffeine makes you go up and down, up and down. Just one less thing that I have to think about or worry about. Like, am I going through caffeine withdrawals? Like, that will already be done and taken care of. So I'm sure at some point I'm going to be taking caffeine again, but I just know overall I feel much better when I don't take caffeine every day. So it's up to you guys if you want to try a cold turkey caffeine. For you guys that are tapering off of Suboxone, I promise you guys, it will make your taper easier if you're not dealing with stimulants kicking in and out all day. I guarantee you it's easier, guys. So if you're struggling maybe at a point in your taper of Suboxone, maybe put the taper on hold for a minute and just tackle your caffeine addiction. Bang it out in a week or two with no issues, like I said, guys. And then your taper is going to be much easier if you're not dealing with this crap. So that's pretty much all I had for this video, guys. Remember, I'm not a doctor. Nothing on this channel is medical advice. Don't do anything that I say. Talk to your doctor. And that's pretty much all I had for now, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye, guys.